Molweni Mzansi, sesithi kwakhona. Guys, kukho lo mcimbi welantika we-fire. I'm not talking about fire lo mlilo, mina ngithetha ngelantika ndikhethetha ngala that fire in the bedroom. Say you've been with this person for so long, you guys have been together for like 9 years or more. Is the fire still the same in the bedroom after 9 years? This is what we want to talk about. If not, depending on what Wayne is going to say, our expert here, then we're gonna speak about ways in which how can we rewire that fire? How can we rewire that fire so that we are still interested in each other as like we just met? Okay, over to you, sir.
Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back. As I always say, man, every week I appreciate those who take time to go through this podcast and, just browse through and, they are so keen to have a listen, give an ear to what we talk about with this sagas of Kapu. It's always a saga week in, week out. So we are on another saga this week. And as usual, it's DJ Wicked Wayne. No Umzotiti.
Yebo.
Welcome.
Thank you. This is me now trying to be getting into that serious zone because Nyanda's not serious too much. Rewire the fire. So when we say we are going to talk about how to rewire the fire, or can you to rewire the fire, does it mean that the wiring has gone wrong? Is this what we're implying? Are we trying to say that when you've met someone, when you've met so and so, Sophie, at the time when things were started, you guys were like at each other. You guys like the amagazi wenu bebeshushu kakhulu towards each other. Yabona, just by touch, then the spark lights up. So, and I'm sure. Let me not ask an obvious question that I already have an answer to, because as time goes, that fire sort of like diminishes. I'm not sure if it's kuqhelana okanye yintoni Wayne. Is it you're so used to your partner that, well, or maybe you've done everything that there is to do and then you don't want to do it the same way all the time? What is it? What do you think?
There's probably a lot of factors, man, a lot of factors that will affect the wiring, whatever that you will have started, because the wiring, batini, 20 is top 6.
Yes, kukhona nje stove 6. Istove siyakwazi ukuhlala 6 wire because abanye abantu baye bathi mna istove sam 6 blah blah blah, but how do you know okanye ujonga i-reaction yabantu towards I don't know.
Because so basically what we're going to discuss today is the fact about stove from number 6. As time goes on, you guys get used to each other. There's also people who say about when you see them all the time, they end up even looking like bayafana ngathi zisithare brothers. Like if I'm that banana, like when you work in a restaurant, this couple that comes every time. This they're brother and sister. Where do you know these people from? No, they're a couple. But because of that, then eventually they seem to now have some resemblance. It might also have a relation to now the fire was like, some fire that you would need a fire brigade to put off. But now, as time will go on, maybe because of age as well, and events, the life when I'm so, these topics that we talk about are also every time affected by events of life.
Yeah.
Like if you check, I've mentioned this in our previous podcast that there's a certain sex positions that probably Woma Kulubet they would have with Otamkul, and it would be like, got that same position, and they have 10 kids, and on that same position. But these days, hey.
Yeah. I think let me take away. Okay, there are two things that I want to touch on based on what you just said. One of them is that of resemblance of people. They will look alike. So here's my take on that. This is a very wild guess. It's not a guess, but this is me thinking. When you are with a person, you share a lot together. Proximity, warmth, everything. You share the bed, you sleep in the same blankets and everything. So this means that the environmental impact that impacts your partner also impacts you in the very same way. And then you guys eat the same food day in, day out. Your diet is the same, your environment is the same, everything becomes the same. So naturally, E-cells are like a substance that responds to things such as diet. If you eat the same diet with a person, there's a chance that you will gravitate towards having the same kind of features or the same kind of something biologically. So maybe that there may be something there. If somebody is very interested in this, they may go and dig it up and say, okay, I want to go and test this hypothesis comes up. All right. So that, be that as it may, that's one point, and then maybe I was trying to shed a light on that one. But now let's come now to this issue of fire, of that fire. I think in one of these episodes we discussed, Wayne, you did say something like when you are with a person for so long, it's your desire or your that fire is sort of like lacking. It needs creativity from your side now to sort of spark it, and you wait till that time. You really need it. Then you embark on it. To make an example, abantu abasebenza kwa-KFC umhlambi kanye kwa-McD, they hate the things that they about KFC.
You have the same smell of KFC.
The same smell and nevumba and everything. But ukutya xa ungaphangeli phaa, you crave KFC, you want to eat. So I think that exposure to the same thing, too much exposure, it diminishes that utility. I think we spoke about utility that time. So I think it's something along those lines.
So in Minds today, maybe we're gonna try and figure out now how to rewire that fire. But you see, when I'm relationships start at a very tender age, as we always have mentioned in our podcast. In the teens, you just find somebody attractive, you approach them, and boom, you're having something going on. And probably, I don't know if I can call it privileged. No, I don't think I was privileged enough to start having sex around the teens. Did I? I'm not sure. Okay, I will have to cross-check on that one. But now...
He knows that's not what you say.
Say you're having the same person. Who was telling me this? Oh, I was actually watching a podcast last night. I've forgotten the guy. It's an American guy who was interviewing Elvis Presley's wife.
Okay.
Ex-wife. Elvis Presley's late.
Yes.
His ex-wife is what? Samantha Presley. I've forgotten the name, but something Presley. So he was interviewing her. How was life with Elvis and all that? They met when she was 16. And they got married when she was 21. And at some point, I'm not accurate with the dates, but then they divorced. You see, I stand to be corrected, but I mean, you meet somebody at 16, you barely know nothing about then you start dating from 16. This is the only person you know. You push your life. Then at 21, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, well, after 5 years. Oh, which is actually the point where I'm going. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. You're having sex for 5 years before you even you acknowledge that you guys are going to be married. Then in the 6th year, you get married. Bruh, you're already done. You're almost done with each other. I mean,
but we don't have sex before marriage. We go by that rule.
If you try and so this 10, this is the 10 commandments that you're talking about.
All right. Okay. Enough with that joke. Okay.
No, I still want that joke. Because if you talk of the 10 commandments, you might be surprised when out of the 10, maybe when there's only one that you're still adhering to.
Which is that?
Not murder.
Oh my God.
You haven't murdered anybody, but
this guy.
The other 9, God is watching you.
Yes.
Hey, son.
Remember, the Lord is watching you. So no. I get you, Wayne. I think City. She started at the age 16, and then they've been seeing each other. They've been doing this. So I think it goes human behavior and what you call it becomes second, like Osako too much into it.
Mm.
So maybe before they got married, not so they didn't have much access to each other. But now when they are married, it's a whole it's a whole different thing.
Because what did I want to say?
To see breast, breast is it's like one of those things. Wow. Until they get when to you guys go naked around each other.
And then daily bread.
Where's that wow thing now when you're looking at the breasts?
Yeah, but, now I've just remembered what I wanted to say. I'm not sure. Again, I stand corrected with the ladies. I've had, when I do my research, it's always blamed on the women that when they get into a marriage and eventually go into a relationship, then eventually go into a marriage, gradually they tend to relax in terms of being that sexy girl that they were 5-10 years back when they were still on the street. Now they've got a man. He's my man. They're in the house. Steve even did a show where I watched where he was saying you would find your wife here. He's wearing a gown, a pink gown. He's got cooking oil here. She's wearing props. They're looking brown. They're on the top. And when she's going to sleep, it's so cold. She's wearing this jumpsuit. And, because most of the things have been done. You now have 2 kids there. And there isn't much to write home about your relationship, because most of the things you did it before you got married and just after you got married, and now there are kids and everything else changes. They were saying that is actually wrong on the women's part. Why? Because now men are like babies. Now when they're walking around they see something else different, which reminds them of 10 years back when they saw you the first time. When, he was actually saying, try and go to bed with a thong. Wear a thong. Don't wear a jacket, a fan thread bottom and all that. And when he's coming through, he finds you sleeping. And he gets there, he sees the string at the bottom, at the back. And you even went on to joke and say, men don't even care where the string is going, but they know it's reaching somewhere where it's very important. So that could be another thing where women actually tend to relax and think, no, it's all done and we are here in the damn, no matter time who's out, now you find me here. And somehow that affects umlilo lo esiwusho ukuthi ukhona initially when you guys met. So those are some factors that women should look into, that if they want this fire to always keep burning, they should consider those things, that don't relax when you're now in the marriage and say, no, we're done. Well, you remember when we just tried to check out what other things can be done earlier on to rekindle this vibe. They were saying, hey, you should go regular dates. I remember they even said you should go date nights. One of the days you tell baby, you get some candlelight dinner and all that. Well, that's more Western But I think, well, maybe it works for them, but for Tinabanda Bamnyama, at times I don't think it will really work. Why? Because you have got probably cooking oil is pela and
and ziningi is khona abantwana.
school fees and all that.
Yeah. I want to pick up on that point where that one-sided point ubuthetha ngaka Steve Harvey. It's not like only women that also let down their guard. Now when you were a fine nigga when you were there, see Jimmy, physically fit. Right now you are a man here with the papa yaserenkini unenteshe ngoku nawe
unotex.
Yeah. This is so let's not be one-sided here and so we are bashing on the women's side. Also men, they physically they are not, they don't, it's just that it structures a society say year two is not putting so much pressure on men. And then now are you trying to say now it's okay for a man to look the way they want to look?
It's not necessarily putting pressure on women when I'm so, but men, unfortunately, they tend to have an advantage. Why? Because even if he's got that funny big one pack and he's that useless nigger, if he has the rent, he can get whatever he wants.
Okay. Okay.
And here's a woman who thinks, nah, I'm done. When she's leaving work, she can't wait to go home, make sure the kids have homework and I have to cook for the kids and all that. You know, she's stressed. Have you ever seen when you're walking in town, you can see, man, whereas in daughter from work, you'll go and have 1 or 2 beers. Then they look around. As long as they've got enough, they can get whoever they want on the market. That's their advantage. Unlike a woman. Like women with their time. I don't know if there's there could be a term where maybe a woman has enough money to say she can get any other man she wants, but it wouldn't work. It wouldn't balance with how a man would get whichever woman he wants when he has enough money. When a man doesn't need to work so much hard when he has some cash. I'm not saying it's good, but that's how the society has been tend to be, where you have men from the 80s, about 2K. It just becomes normal because there's a catalyst that is being used.
But still, that catalyst is not. Let's not wander off the topic. Yes, it's a great thing that you're trying to justify and show, but you are viewing it at an angle where you say we are not looking at the fire now. What's the fire got to do with finance now? Let's not forget what we're talking about. We're talking about the spark in the bedroom, whereas like you can't wait to go and make love to your woman at home. Does it happen 24/7, 365? Every year for the next decade? Is the fire going to be the same? Or there are things that you and I, my partner, need to work on that will rekindle the fire?
We make it up, when you give an example, we got KFC, when you work for KFC, the first thing you walk in, they switch on the pan and they put that cooking oil KFC straight into your nostrils. You smell a chicken that is Kentucky Fried Prep and all those spices that they put in there, and eventually, you don't want that chicken. At some point, you feel no. If I'm gonna have a chicken, can it be a different prep? So, unfortunately, when you have a wife in the house, it's not easy to say I want a different prep. The only other way is now, can I have a different woman? This is why maybe Nijola and the moms now this is where you want to try and get a different prep of KFC. So now our topic today is how best can we work around when you don't need to go outside and look for a differently prepared KFC. Stick around that same branch of Uyoka Strand Street and enjoy that same KFC. How do you do it if it was being grilled initially, do you boil it now in this time? Or you are going to eat it raw? You know, are you going to change the chicken and make it a sushi? You never know.
Yeah, but unfortunately, in this circumstance, especially when it comes to, I think Lendo Lena, if we are doing too well with this topic, or if we think too well about it, it might explain a lot about cheating and why do people cheat. I'm not trying to make excuse for people that cheat, but maybe there are circumstances such as this that need a solid plan. People get into marriages, get into relationships without a solid plan, without really thinking that, at some point, as much as this fire is burning, I love it this way. I love it when she does doggy style or whatever the case. That doggy style, you're going to have it for the next 20 years. Is it going to be the same? Why do you now say, yeah, you used to like it, but now why do you not like it? And then which brings me to a topic of his table. These people are one of our fast and three.
You go
More
more
than one wife.
It's just actually, Why would you when are you struggling to get to terms with one woman? Somebody wants a second one.
No.
Yeah.
But is it the reasons of saying no in case the fire goes down on this one, then I go to this one.
Exactly.
Is that the
exactly. Let's not justify. I don't know. Well, there are cultures where it's justified. Where they say a man. I don't know. How does it entail about a man who decides to have a second and third wife? Maybe it shows you are so powerful, or I don't know. But I think at times it's not necessary. Look at how the economy is. You have one woman. I struggle with a girlfriend who I'm not even married to. Somebody marries and pays lobola, gets another one, pay lobola, gets the third one. So you could be right. I don't necessarily think it could be all about culture, but it's all about rekindling the fire, probably. Why? Because the fire that was in here, ingat is dying down, ingat was fucking man's up. Then they find themselves now looking around the outside, and then there's a bit of a flame going on out there. Then they rekindle that second flame instead of trying. So what are we saying? We want to try and have this first flame that was initially there when we started all this. Let's find means and ways to
because what we want to do here is that we want to will the fire remain the same throughout the span? It will
all
never. Of us, the three of us, we agree. Me, Wayne, and you, we agree it will never. Then, what are the best ways now in which we can rewire that fire so that each time when we feel like it's slacking or that whatever, it's like, let's say when we grew up in we used to like video games, like games, these games that all of me and my cousins, everyone was all about games. There was too many boys in my house. So once a game we clock, let's say Double Dragon, that quest of the fact that you really want to see to get to the next stage, and then
then boom,
fika ku stage one ban, I got to this level. Once clock Double Dragon clock once for one time, it was also nice, and then a person must not press in a computer while you like a game. That's a clock game because it has a story, because all of these wonderful things that are happening, and then you call people, hey, but it is not born. The clock in, Then if then why clock always be in the game? Why clock always start? That sense of quest.
And usually, what would you do? If there was Dragon 2 or Dragon X,
you'd go and find another game, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat.
So
Street Fighter.
So now, Now, these are two scenarios,
No,
maybe different scenarios.
Let's bring this here. Once you are able to, when the mystery part of something has been resolved, it gets to be boring.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm driving. This is where I'm driving my point towards that. So even in a relationship whereas like initially when Elvis saw that woman at 16, oh, she's so beautiful, she's this, and he was also dreamy, oh, she could be my wife, she's so beautiful, I love her and whatnot. Boom, kind of relationship here. Then as time goes, people tend to think that sex is the only thing there is in a relationship. There are other things that will be affecting this.
Define them. I mean, sex is one very important thing in a relationship.
As
much as we want to shy away from it when a relationship is starting. I mean, imagine when now you are chasing after, or a woman is like, oh, Mzo is the finest guy, Mzo is the finest guy. Then boom, the first night you bring her to your house, then she finds you don't have a dick. Or whatever you wear for yours. And then it's boom, it's back to square one. And like you would say, okay, Mzo akana mali. Then maybe she would say, I'll stick around. We work around this. We don't have vision. We can work around this. Then one of the days, so right, or he's not very good in dressing up himself. No, I'll teach him. No, so and then good, we proceed. Yeah, but so how did we get to this point?
What if this person, sex, you were saying sex is a very important
thing. Yeah. Then I was saying there are other things that can be worked around in life.
Okay, so even also sex can be worked around, which is why we're discussing this. Okay.
Tell our guests.
Okay, so guys, Wayne Sayo coming on there, let me get a few things that I may not get a chance to say when he is here. So, one of them is that sex is a very important part, but the attraction, it's got nothing to do with attraction. When you see somebody, you see what you like. You're like, I like that person. I like the way they are. I like their physique. I like their whatever. I like their manners. I like their actions. You get into it, but just know that your first encounter or your first liking of that person, the sex that you're going to have should not have, this is me thinking, should not have an impact on you liking that person. You should still be liking that person. You can't say now, okay, I've had, no, I don't like that person anymore. See, why? No, because I've had sex with them. I was not pleased.
I'm sorry, I got lost. What were you telling people?
No, I was telling people that liking a person is off the eyes, right? Why now, when you have sex with that person, you decide now, no, I don't like them. Are you using a dick now, or are you using your private parts now to decide about the liking? Whereas the eyes, they saw what they liked.
So we mentioned this when we started doing this podcast, that it's the idea of getting used to something, and because too much of everything becomes monotonous.
Correct.
Yeah. So having somebody in bed with you for years, it becomes a routine. We from work, we eat, we bath, we go into bed. Well, it's a different ball game in the first probably 1 year. Not even 1 year. 1 year is way. In the first probably 6 months, when you have somebody in bed, like, after honeymoon, you come home and this is my fish to fry. She's there. She's, you might have sex 3 times every day. The whole week. 2 times today, 3 times tomorrow. Just when you go to bed, you have sex. You're working.
3 times.
When it's starting, the fire.
Oh, yes.
When you eat, you finish. Mind you, kids are not yet there. So it's at the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
We're just talking of a normal setup. But these days, setups are not very normal because maybe your loved one is coming with a trailer and all that. But in a setup where it's just the two of you.
Mm.
Before ningakalali, boom, we have a round. Uzovusa umntana wabantu ngo-2 a.m. We have another round. Before you wake up to go and bath for work, there's that morning glory, the famous morning glory. That can go on for the first 3 months.
Yes.
And when you're knocking off from work, you can't wait to go home and meet with your loved one. Then you get to a point now where you know all the angles. You know, if it's a Sharaganji, she's going to react like this. If it's a Sharaganji, she's going to react like this. And now this is the part where it gets monotonous. Now,
I think just to add on your point. Okay, you guys, if you stay here, I'll say things that might help you towards the end of this episode. I'll give you a guideline of things that 100% work, and when you are using them, you will come back here and say, "Mzo, thank you, they worked." That I guarantee you that. But I want to come back to what Wayne is just saying now of that monotonous kind of sex. Sometimes when with your person is that when you guys if let's say you are doing this sex ceremony together, sex dance or whatever they do, you start mhlawumbe missionary, then aguquke ngohlobo oluthile, aguquke ngohlobo oluthile. When basenisazana so much, you know that so and so uzojika ngohlobo oluthile. Without there's no point. Awusathethwa nothethwa, awusathi bengicela uguquko okanye nje. Uyayazi xa usuka from here, and then even the routine yazo and those activities nizenzayo is almost the same. Then I think that it's at that point that this is the point where it's like you guys know each other, and you guys fit each other like hand in glove, and this is where you should start to get worried, because this is where things are about to be monotonous, as you say.
Okay, then you promised people that you're going to come with terms as to how.
It's not towards the end yet of this episode. We are still discussing. We're still discussing.
So I can't wait to listen to whatever that you want to advise.
I'll tell you.
I'm going to try and use it. If it doesn't work, so you're in trouble.
You'll come back and expose me.
I'll come back and expose this ninja. Yeah. He's trying to come here and be some Dr. Phil shit.
Yeah, I will ask Dr. Phil on this.
Has this worked for you?
Well. A lot of people keep asking me, Enzo, hey, you don't age a bit, you don't do that. Hey, I got secrets. I'm gonna tell them to you. Just before the end of this episode. Wayne, he's excited now, but Wayne, let's help people now. Let's get full on help people to rekindle the fire.
No, point of correction. We're not really here to help people. We're here to discuss.
All right. Okay.
And people will figure out from the discussion what
they will
work for them.
They'll filter
because, this relationship game is vast, it's wide. And, probably what we're discussing here doesn't work for the Chinese.
Yes.
Maybe the Chinese go for 100 years and they still have sex. I don't know. But as we always say, cycles of couplehood is topics that we discuss with South African perspective in mind. So it's what we see on the streets of South Africa, and the research, a bit of research that we do, and some lifetime experiences within the context of South Africa.
And yes, I think abanye abantu bangakwazi ukuthi, I think also the maturity in love. The maturity in love is a very important aspect that should not be undermined. Because remember, couples, there are people that are married 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Then we wonder and ask ourselves, what's their secret? As if there's something mysterious that we don't have, that we shouldn't be knowing. Maybe they know. That is possibly that. So what I'm trying to say about love maturity is that when you get in love and be in love with someone, just know that your mind, let your mind walk the phases of that relationship even before you go through them. Let's say at that 16 years, that sweet 16 love, teen love, Elvis Wainayo, it was that thing of seeing each other, and then because of butterflies that they see with each other. Without you, if you don't prepare yourself, when those butterflies that you have in the stomach, they go off, or they are no longer there, because you know this person, you haven't made your mind to get into the next stage of love. The next stage of love is the one that says, yes, we no longer have that. Let me put, this means that we've matured, we've passed that other stage. Like a larva will become a butterfly. There's transformation that needs to happen. When that transformation happens, they get married. Yes, in bedroom, things are not the same, but they are more so intertwined together. They are more like brother and sister now. If you are not mentally prepared for that, you are uzawubona ngathi you are missing something out. That's why abanye abantu athi umuntu, okay, umama wabantwana bami, athi umuntu, amanye amadoda xa ethetha ngolanto athi umama wabantwana bami. This means that even that akatsho bangaba umfazi wami okanye spouse sami. This means that that idea of love uhamba ne morphism or something, uhamba ne morphism yayo yoba izawumuva from this stage to that stage, from this stage to that stage. Kwesa stage athi lona umama wabantwana bami. He's not, this man is a man whether there's sex in the bedroom or there's no sex in the bedroom. He's there because now the love idea has been transformed beyond the issue of sex, of just mere sex.
But I'm also to I don't know if I'm saying to support or to say to answer why at times now we struggle to rekindle this fire. We tend to have now responsibilities. Don't forget responsibilities.
Okay. True.
When you are that high school lover, we meet, we go and watch a movie there, from there you just need a taxi from Danae back Kokwabo. Or if you have an opportunity, you have that sex, then you don't worry what she's gonna eat. If you are to worry what she's gonna eat, it's probably the ice cream and the popcorn that you bought at the movie theater. And you don't worry what she's gonna dress up tomorrow to school and what she's gonna carry to school. Then everything is fine. And it's normal. It's supposed to be like that. But now it elevates to a different level. Siatandana said, we're good. We're gonna stay together. Now it's a different thing. Now you have responsibilities. You are now responsible for what are you gonna eat? How are you gonna dress? If you're gonna stay in an apartment with rentals, if you need to for a certain period of time, boom, she's pregnant. There's a third person in life, that responsibility that you have. And la mali, popcorn and ice cream and all that now has to be distributed amongst 3 people. And how do we get this money? We have to work. Now we need to be employed. So half the time now, I'm there at my workplace. My woman is at her workplace. She's frustrated with whatever that happens at her workplace. I get so frustrated with whatever that happens. Oh, well, I wanted to talk about my frustration at my workplace. I'm worried. People at times watch this. I'm so happy at my workplace. I'm the happiest person in my workplace.
You sound convincing.
So that affects the lifestyle, the sex, the sex activity in the bedroom. Because for Lembasha to respond, everything has to be equal. You have to be happy when you're mentally. When you are a broke ass nigga, bruh, you don't get horny, bruh.
I want to debunk some of the things that you just spoke about, Wayne. Especially the lena yoba. It's problems that have come.
What do you mean I said problems will come?
No.
You got responsibilities.
Yes, you say you've got responsibilities and therefore they affect you. Then how do you explain the fact that a man that's got a family and responsibilities and a wife is going to go and have a mistress out there and be burning like fire there with that mistress. As good second, what is our responsibility?
If you are to get me that man and bring him here, he's one of the saddest men in his life.
What
a man
makes
who
it sad?
decides to have a mistress. And
No. But the point that I'm trying to make is the fire is burning there with that mistress.
Mm-hmm.
His fire is burning with that mistress. Or maybe let me turn it around. Maybe not this guy. Where while you're working your ass off there by M17, your wife is there's a guy that sneaks in your house. The fire is burning there. Responsibility is still second.
I'll still come back to my point. Responsibilities changes your mentality.
Oh,
Oh, maybe I didn't put it correctly, but the responsibility now, the day-to-day activities and the responsibilities changes your art of thinking and everything. Why? Because when you walk in here, Umama is expecting you to be carrying some chicken or whatever, because there are kids here, and Umnana is already here talking about a trip at school, and when you are some guy who is now looking for, before you even think of reconnecting, because now that's what you crashed my point about. So the effect of walking into the house and be told a list of issues that have to be covered. The brain connects with everything that is supposed to happen if it's going to be sexual. Imagine you walk in here and you are told, hey, wena, umdana, then the fees and DSTV, Wi-Fi, no. Even if you're going to go into the bedroom and try and rekindle the fire, it's not going to be that ordinary. Because the thinking and the action should be, she's correlate.
It's congruent.
Yeah. So, unlike having a mistress where everything is fine, she's staying in a flat somewhere, wherever. When you get there, first thing she does, she puts a bubble bath there. Kaloko, there are no issues there, there are no kids. This is just a mistress. But I'm just saying, responsibilities will affect your performance, your thinking, and everything. The mistress does not lose anything.
This is good.
Yeah, you get to the place there, bubble bath, she cooks a meal from heaven, and she has to make sure she impresses you, because at times it has always been said that way. So
okay.
Yeah.
So Wayne, you're saying something that we're gonna be in trouble a little bit. Let me just solve something here.
Yeah, I'm saying there's gotta be. I think it's.
So, if I hear you correctly, Wayne, you're saying that you just pointed out the solution while you are pointing out the problem.
Okay.
Because the problem is going hand in hand in the solution. So there by the mistress, there are no issues. Here at home, you get told a whole lot of problems. Don't you think that if you take care of all of these problems beforehand, the atmosphere is going to be good here at home, the same way as it is good there by the mistress's side?
That's a very good point.
Because remember, for these issues to get out of the way, so the solution to rekindle the fire at home, at the house, is to make sure that you take care of business. So be on top of your home affairs. So you know that the kids, let's say in terms of how you strategize with your budgets and everything, you make sure that nothing is lacking, nothing is going to bite back, so that when you get into your house, you get you really want to go home. And then now, especially the fact that you're saying you are going to be told this is lacking, there's no oil, a kid must this, that, DSTV, that, Wi-Fi, that. If you take care of those, then who must be told about these things? And then how do these things affect your sex drive? They may, because they get onto your head, get you worried. But still, the solution is there then to rekindle the fire in the household, that you take care of business so that we have a peaceful house and a joyous house where everybody's smiling.
Who was it? Was it you who sent me this meme saying, my mother used to, my mom was looking at particular girlfriends, never have a girlfriend. Then, well, like when you say, hey, well, now you don't have money, what are you going to do with a girlfriend? Then at some point, well, you've had a girlfriend, then you have a wife. Then your wife is like, don't ever have a girlfriend. So this girl said, what's wrong with women? Why can't I have a girlfriend? But so I can hear what you're saying, but I still tend to differ, man. Why? Because it now taps into the financial side. When your finances are stable, that means, I've mentioned this in one other podcast, that a financially stable home, it's rare to hear these funny talks about this is where you are going through this DSTV, this Wi-Fi paid, kids at some expensive school, everything is equal. Why then try and look for some rekindling of the fire outside? That's what you're saying.
In the term, happy wife, happy life. Otherwise, if your wife is not happy, your life is not going to be happy.
But again, now I would have to say this every week. Now, this is a home where everything is balanced, meaning financial stability is now in this home. Everything is super, everything is good. I don't think that will now constitute this family living a happy setup because everything is normal. Because now we have a man who we saying he's financially stable, so everything is there, which is actually a big problem for a black man to have everything in place. Drive the best car, stay in the best hood, have the best job, provide for the wife, provide for the kids, provide everything is. Are we saying now this man is a man who's going to leave work at 5 o'clock, go into traffic, get home and just sit here? That's what we are trying to advocate for, but is that how easy it's going to be? I don't think so. Meaning, equally to that we're missing something somewhere. It's probably not just finances that will bring a man and a home to be a stable home. There's probably a home that is going to be a stable home in terms of the rekindling of the safe drive and everything.
Okay, wait. Let's say let's take the volume, take a volume up a little bit now, and make things very complex and interesting. So, if ever you're trying to say if ever there are no kids, there are no the setup is still the same. There's a term, ceteris paribus, economics, where things remain the same. So if I started living in a flat and then I stay in that same flat throughout and I don't get to have kids, and I'm with someone, that someone keeps coming to visit me, then there are no problems in that household. It's just the two of us. For the 10 years.
Very good question.
Are you trying to say that the fire will still be the same?
Very good question. This is where I was saying I could have been wrong somewhere. I could have been wrong. The fire wouldn't be the same anyway.
Okay.
They wouldn't be.
Thank you. Okay, that's clear. That's clear. So we're going to come back to this because we need to know the nitty-gritties around it so that we know how can we rewire this fire for that. What diminishes this fire? Is it that monotonous thing we spoke about?
Well, but so who starts having the effects
of the monotonous? Yeah. You beat me to it. I wanted to come to this question. I wanted to revert back to this question of this man who has a family that's got problems. Are the problems with him and his libido yak and a sex drive that gets disappointed by all of these problems? Then psychologically he does not feel like having sex, or is the woman not wanting to lay with this man until the problems are solved? Which is which?
I think it's they both play a role.
But okay, let's make a scenario. I come home and I throw my bag. I'm tired. or coffee, whatever the case. Fine. The kids the kid says, go to a school with this, go to a school like, okay, I'll absorb all of these problems. Great. Later on, the kids, they go to their rooms, I go to my room, now, with my wife. And then now, those problems, this village corner, what makes us not to be active, while these problems are there? We are both warm-blooded. Do we touch each other? Do we cuddle? How do we sleep?
So are you trying to rule out the statement about if there are issues within a homestead, it will affect the lifestyle of people?
I'm not trying to rule it out. Yeah. I know that they will because mental, all is mental. Yeah. But I'm trying to say, when you are there, are you not able now, when you are in bed? We've spoken about these problems. When you guys were eating supper and stuff. And right now, why too? Half naked or whatever,
mind you,
does nature not take its course now?
Mind you, you are people who have been staying with each other for probably 10, 15 years. And it's different from Kudala, where your woman walks in the door and you just feel, I want to take this woman to bed. It's a different ball game now. When now, 10, 15 years later, there are kids, and we mentioned that when you come in, you're going to mention whatever these problems are. I know, do not cut me. I am going exactly what you want, where you want me to go. It affects the sex drive already. You know, it's supposed to be a build-up. Now, it's not going to be just easy. We'll see.
One direction.
Yeah. You know, when you were 20 and with an 18-year-old girl, once what ganj, you'll be surprised, bro. Hey, this wine is less than how much things will be going on down there. Now with a woman who is
juicy stuff,
juice, there's a lot of juice just by this hand going on here. Now, a family setup, it is to build up. Hence, they say, you need to reintroduce some regular date nights. You need to discuss. You need to do some bubble bath. You need to,
Yeah.
But now already, when you walk in and there's talk about electricity, there's talk about kids doing that. There's talk about Umakelwa cutting their hedge, going over this side, and I asked them in one shout that next door. All that, man. It's a build-up to how we're going to have a night together. And have you ever seen, I see my uncle and my auntie, or even our parents, usually, it's not like when we're sitting there and all watching TV, they will not be like, it's either Utata will go and sleep, He doesn't even say your lala or something, you just stand up and goes to sleep. Yeah. But 10, 15 years ago, it would be like, why? Why?
No, I must see. Okay, I get you, Wayne. So there are two things here. Maybe three things. There's a situation, household situation. We make that as an example. It could be any other situation. There's a situationship that's going on. Then there is biology. As you age, your sex drive and everything, it gets diminished, or you guys have been together for so long. But now there's another very important one, that mental, how you condition your mind, because all of it ties to that. Remember, the mind must speak to the biology to say, guys, let's send a lot of blood flow down there so that we prepare ourselves for this activity. So now, if this is switched off by other things, therefore, is an effect in Mandika. So I agree with that point. And then now coming to what do we think can be done about that? About okay, biology, there's not much we can do. Because as we age, we are going to become stronger
But also,
or less stronger.
what do you think about, do you agree with me that there are certain relationships around the world where the order of the day is money? The woman is probably just sitting in a house with the man just because this man has money.
I agree.
And the man knows probably that I'm just some ugly bastard, but I got the money. Then they buy themselves to be with this particular model. You know, a man with money can get.
There is such with comfort. Some people they're sitting there for comfort. No, okay, I'm not moving here. I'm being taken care of here. So,
but as long as you are happy, Chomi.
Yeah.
Or about Jolana, like that picture you sent to me last week with some old Madala with a very young girl. But probably maybe she has tried all the avenues in terms of relationships and she's not getting Mr. Right. She gets this old dude and not sure where he does it right, but I know the finances could be because if it's gonna be sex, man, I don't think he's gonna be able to rise to the occasion because
I don't think so.
But now my question now is gonna be as much as we are talking about aging will affect the sex drive and all that, there is somebody, a woman with somebody that they don't even like. I mentioned this when I talked about our brothers from the West, where you say, oh, God, does this guy even know how to talk? When you even talk to him yourself, you can't even hear what he's saying, but somebody saying baby and they're good. And they stay for years. They're good.
I think
the sex drive
get used to them.
It's just getting used. No, I'm not. There's a point that I want to get to and ask a certain question.
Okay.
Now, Tina, we're talking of somebody that I met and I loved, and we were good for the first 5 years. Then we had kids. Then later on, we decided no, man, it's badala, and we've got issues. And in the Saham, but I still look at you and you are my loved one. Then I'm talking of somebody who, on first inception, did not like this person at all, but they are supposed to stay together. We have that such scenarios. Let's agree. We have a finest chick sitting with some big stomach, and they make it. You see them; they're walking, holding hands, and everything.
That person's being bought iPhones and stuff and everything, will splash on the money every now and again, who needs stipend in advance every day.
And that relationship will always be, they don't need to rekindle it. This is where I'm going.
No, this is not sex. There's no, well, Wayne, thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah.
We are talking about a relationship here. A relationship, we are not talking about the fire in the bedroom yet. Between that moneyed ugly guy and that Nessa Slay Queen. Between them, we just see a relationship. Probably that guy just does whatever that he wants to do at a time. Omni is like, okay, it's a transaction anyways at the end of the day. So we don't know whether there's fire that goes up and down in there.
Oh. Even though
yes, we see that the relationship is working, is happening, but we don't know if ever there's fire.
Let's not even include those people in this discussion. That's what you're saying.
No, we could include only if we are going to talk about the fire in the bedroom. Are you trying to say that this man? What if this man that's got money doesn't feel like it anymore? And feel like no, this is monotonous.
No. So. There's no way he can feel like that because he tends to lose if he feels like that because he's the ugly one. He's dating a finest chick.
But he's got money. He can get many other fish in the ocean.
So what's your point when against our topic of today?
My point is that if we talk about the guy that's got money, and that slay queen, let's talk about their fire. Are we trying to say that is the money a catalyst to make the fire keep burning? On whose side here? On whose side? Yes, I understand from the woman's point of view who receives the money that no matter what, she needs to impress this guy.
Whether fire or no fire.
Fire or no fire.
Mm.
But now, what about the guy, Kimoko? What if the guy is like, nah, babe, yeah, I've been with you for the past 3 years. We've been, yeah, I don't think ikona into ingazange ndisiyenze thina sobayi-2. Blow job, teabagging, Kama Sutra, dog style, monkey style, helicopter, all of them.
So, this would be a very good example to use with today's discussion in mind, where some moneyed guy is just having a slave queen, and even if they say for 20 years...
Your point of mentioning money while we are talking fire in the bedroom, or rewiring the fire in the bedroom, make an association between those two things, then I would say this is a very valid example.
When you want us to discuss about the fire in the bedroom,
even
whether
this,
money being there or not being there, or just being an ordinary,
even this situation, how you are saying, what was your point here about a guy that splashed money?
My point was, you will have a woman settling for some guy who you think, does this guy know even how to talk? You can see this is not a balanced relationship, but this is some finest chick, some slaying chick. But she settles for some, and it seems from a distance there is fire. Because they are together.
How do you know that there's fire? The fire that we're talking about here, Wayne, is not the fire of how much love we have of each other. We are talking about the fire in the bedroom, the fire of going to have sex or that intimate moment of making love.
These women tend to stick around these guys.
No, she will still stick around this guy, whether she loves the guy or not, because there is money there. But it still doesn't justify that. Just because she's sticking there doesn't justify that the fire is burning stove 6 or something of that nature.
Okay, yeah, understood.
Yes, she's sticking there. We all know why that woman is sticking there. It's because of money.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the guy that is sticking there is because this woman does everything that I say she must do.
Yeah, well, he is even afraid of losing her. It's not easy.
Exactly. But now, whether they satisfy, because remember, the fire in the bedroom needs to satisfy either one of the two people. You understand? I remember when I was speaking with Nansika or Rachel Sihlali here, I asked, because she's lesbian, and then they do that thing with lesbians. She was explaining here, go and watch that episode. But now I asked here, who satisfies who here? How does it work when you are satisfied? Because I know with sex, men tend to be very selfish as long as you're but
it's when you are at a tender age and you're not yet understanding sex.
Yes, when you
all like that, then
it's all about you.
Yeah,
most of the time.
The moment
true.
And funny enough, ego. We've mentioned ego. African men like a woman is even not flexible to actually tell you, I wanna with whatever that you have done, I haven't reached. Then she just keeps quiet and turns around. I even mentioned in one other podcast that there's one woman who was saying she's got 5 kids with this guy, and in the 15 years that they've married, she's never had a climax.
This is very important, Wayne. This point that you're bringing up now is very important, because a lot of us, especially African men, we tend to see into indima sex, we regard it too serious. As a result, now we feel like we need to be the drivers.
Once
the comforting driver. If umfazi take over lona okanye sibeka nale motion cherry xa ngathi forward too much ngento ze sex ibe ngathi sisifebe according to wena was it too much lanto lana. I think it ties
experience
it ties with this ego that we have. We don't want to be trampled under. as men as if we don't know what we are doing.
And funny enough, they go and do these things with those women, with the mistress. Those things that she says, that the man, like, man, let's do the monkey style or whatever it is. But we found that people. But first inception in the mistress' house, it's a monkey style.
It's mistress this kinky stuff that but getting back to my point, Rachel, asihlali apha wayejabuza ke mna ninazi list yeni ithini lento uthi hayi ndiyabuza who satisfied you, who's the man, uthi no, we take 10.
Yeah, I remember I watched that.
We take 10. She says we take 10, so that means
whoever is in control,
they need to understand. But in that kind of setting, they understand each other. But when as a man, you need to take lessons from the person olala naye. Naye they will know where your hotspot or things, buttons to press on you to make you to be okay in terms of sexual act. I'll give you a chance just now, Wayne. And then the point that I'm driving towards is that of not being serious during intimate sex. Don't be too serious. That is a moment between the two of you where you guys need to learn from each other. Remember, you will learn just because you've had sex, your body count is 100, you've slept with 100 women, doesn't mean that you've satisfied them. You've satisfied yourself largely in all of that. It's been a selfish act. So each woman requires a different. It's the same biology, but other people like it a certain way. Therefore, you may think that ubani wakhala ekuthini kwathini blah blah blah, and then the next one akakhali. No, it's uthi sisifele lo because akakhali. No, akasosifele. You don't know what buttons to press here. When you are still using that same technique, no, that was a different fire. Coal. But right now, in this kind of fire. So each fire needs a different treatment.
And with the man's ego, women tend to shy away.
Yeah.
And they're not at liberty to actually, be out there and mention, I want to press button number 1, press button number 2. And again, this affects the rekindling of the fire in a marriage, why? Because you are this man who think, I'm the man, I call shots, him low pamper, and when you scream and mourn, I'm making you calm and all that. And probably the woman is not even getting satisfied. And still, because of your ego, she's not at liberty and not flexible to tell you no. Hey, well, why is it the moment she does that, then you feel we found that as Western African men. But now, the same men who go to a mistress, we've mentioned this just a minute ago, and all these styles in the world that he's been watching online, they happen at the mistress' house. So maybe women should now start advocating for their independence to be allowed to mention where they're flexible to have sex with their partners. So whatever their partners who they have in the house, they should have that liberty to be, flexible to say no. And I think with age, your woman, you could probably have met her at size 32. And with time after kids and all that, she's probably size 38. And probably one angle that you used when she was 32 is not satisfying when she's now size 38. And things might change. And she might want you to hit it from that angle.
Yeah.
This angle, that other angle. And go now.
Funny enough, let's delve deep into sex in this maybe half an hour. When you play there in the bedroom, how many is the fire burning because of how many different things of the variety that you guys are doing? Some people do oral sex and then do this and then you do that. All of that, does that constitute towards the burning of fire?
I should think so. That's what I think. And it's not going to be easy for us as African people, black people. Why? Because everything is left to the men to decide, and everything.
Yes. Now, we should not be serious. This is something between the two of us.
Yeah.
I know. Well, here's the thing. I think you touched on it, but I don't think we touched it in exactly the way it operates. Being naked with someone is a very a vulnerable state to be at. Being naked. So it
both
starts
of you naked.
Come again?
Both of you naked.
Yeah, both of you.
Oh, me and you naked or what?
No. Hey. Hey, stop right there. Stop right there.
Be specific.
No. I'm talking about you and the person that you are with. That moment, remember, each one of us, the very first time you had sex. That
like entirely my whole life. Or with this person.
Even with this, I want to start with entirely in your own life.
Yeah, okay.
It had started.
Half the time was you won't be even knowing what you're doing.
It would start with curiosity. It would start with curiosity. But with everyone that for the first time that you are sleeping with right now, you meet someone there that moment, at that time, it's a very vulnerable moment for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, this person, I know people that would say, some people, remember, we come from different things. We've been beaten by life in so many different ways. Remember, you're still a stranger to this person. Is a stranger to each other. Now we are becoming naked. Yes, we come there knowing that we're gonna be naked with this one. But now how it's done, you see, from that moment, how you get into each other's mental capacities or mental wavelengths is dependent on how serious you are. You need to learn that person in that small moment. You are coming, talk to them and whatnot. I know when wafika mhlawumbe upheke uimpress umdlalele umculo manje R&B and stuff and all of that.
It's just an example.
Your foreplay. Yeah, this is just an example. Your foreplay, but right there you're trying to learn the person.
Mm-hmm.
But still, the point that I'm driving towards here, I'm driving towards that point of you not being serious. The only moments of being serious are those moments when it's the first time, because it's still tiptoeing there up until you guys do the deed. After doing the deed, there could be a moment of awkwardness, just a little bit, but it's done now. Whether each one of you has been satisfied.
I wonder how God designed this, because honestly, the very second minute after the deed is done, it changes the whole game plan. It changes the world. It changes the mindset. It changes.
Yes. After that, yeah.
It's not a good thing,
then here's the thing that you need to take from all of this long monologue. Sorry, is that from that moment, that initial round, Beninayo as a stranger, it was the most awkward sex ever.
Around the sex.
Less sex for both of you, not for one person. There will come rounds where you guys are comfortable now with each other. Then you get there, you warm up. So this is the thing where I'm talking about not being serious. If the only serious sex that you need to have with someone where like there's that tiptoeing, it should be that first one. The next one, you guys need to guide each other along. I remember that lady, she was saying, no, amadoda wafuna ucela le-ego. All I do is just I move around like this so in order to direct him to where he's supposed to go. What's wrong with saying, Bodi, hit kanje, right there, yeah, right there? Is there something wrong with that? Because this is part of killing the fire.
There is something very wrong about that, honestly speaking. There's something very wrong about that. Because, we talked about this when I was older. We don't have a school of excellence.
We need to break the narrative that we already have.
So that now, by going with you to my house, I feel, or I think, or I feel, or I suggest, or I've got a mentality of I'm the leader. I've got to be doing the thing in a certain way.
If you go to her house,
same thing.
Same thing.
The difference is just the walls, but the mentality should be the same. I mean, every other man should have. I mean, it's so sad that this mentality, when you want to try and impose or you want to try and give light to, can only happen if now unomakwa pen or you've got a side chick or a side dish or somebody you're not serious with. This is when you can play around and say, man, can I have your leg by this painting? I mean, nigga, you cannot tell your wife that. You see, as African men, I mean, it just doesn't give a very good picture when you sit there and paint all those lobolas and combos. But funny enough, baby, when women are gonna watch this, why? You should. If I should tell you this is how I'm gonna enjoy sex, sex should be done in that manner. But unfortunately, again, I'll blame men. If let's say you are dating 3 ladies, there's this one that you just kept in, gives you the missionary position. She wipes and she just turns around, she sleeps. And there's this one who's like, hey. I can't freak out, as a man with that ego. Gotta move. You rather prefer they have all that control.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I don't think this is the first time I'm saying this. One of those ringleaders that are from back in high school and stuff. They are the least in manage job. It's the least used simply because bangamagagu so much that amadoda ayabona.
What's a gagu?
That's that kind.
Is this close?
It's close. Amachita, they shy away with that one. And then it becomes so. Tina snale mentality yobangaba if icherry ikhe suggest too much about sex and everything was kakhulu and then what does this
feeling the game
but what does this do? It gets into your psyche, it gets into your mental that we spoke about you'll quickly doubt yourself whether you're doing the right thing with this one because this one seems like
very good point.
This one seems to know too much. So as much as we have a big ego, I don't think it's big. It's fragile. We just have a fragile ego as men, especially when it comes to things of intimacy. We don't want to be told the truth. Maybe if we learn to listen more and then let the women drive there, we will tend to satisfy them because one way or another, Tina, we're going to be satisfied. It's given that one.
Yeah.
So why can you not extend the powers to the woman to say, look, okay, do me, baby, whatever. And then, but largely learn from her what she likes to do, what she likes to make you do, so that you do more of that and then do less of yourself. Because
now, so there are instances where when you are done and then she's just
she wants it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thing. bro.
This is the thing where when we go towards the end, things that I want to touch on and say a few things.
You promise to tell us something.
Yes, I will, Wayne. I will, Wayne. Don't rush me. I'm not going to.
I almost forgot.
I haven't forgotten, and this wine is taking longer. Otherwise, you're not.
I drank a lot of that gin earlier. So long as from your bathroom, I don't know why.
Wayne.
I'm telling you, I drank.
Jesus.
So find something that you're gonna tell people. What are you gonna tell them when I go to the bathroom?
I'll tell them this secret now.
No. You have to wait for me. I need it.
Okay, guys. Let's get on with it. So, as Babin Sacho, Nani women right now, I think now, I'm at 2000, they're old enough to say, they want to do it themselves, they will do you, or whatever the case. I don't know. But this is a moment where men, we shouldn't act like we know everything. We don't know everything. Well, if I'm a painter, I've painted this painting, I've done this painting. There are many other different kinds of paintings. There's Picasso, there's blah, 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 there's what, William Blake. There's many different kinds. So his style is different. Zabantu, even women. So we need to stop this ego. If we stop this ego, we will learn then. Once we learn and we know, then we will know when the fire is not burning as it was supposed to be burning. And this thing of saying, mna ndine stove sam siku 6, that thing doesn't work. Zonke izitofu ziku-6 xana kusenziwa ngendlela right, ngemena ekhawuleze na-understandana nomntu. Lekhe na-understandana zonke izitofu zizaba ku-6.
But you see, when I'm these things we discussed in our podcast today are things that I think even if it's now for someone who died probably in whatever grandmother who died some 2005, they won't understand what we're talking about. Because probably it was the order of the day back then that, if you start to Africa, whatever it is, Africa, better one round, whether she doesn't come, but as long as he's satisfied, then she sleeps. She's got nobody to tell, because there's no these human rights and women rights organizations and all that. Life was normal. And life goes on. But now in Namhlanje, it's a different ballgame. Women have rights. They go to these, women coaching clinic, sex coaching clinic, whatever. There's TikTok. You go online, you search, what is climax? What is sex? They understand these things, even at a very tender age. Or even at school, I think they're taught now, because everywhere, I was at this other church the other day, I found they've got condoms in the toilets. So you see, this sex is now taught everywhere. So everyone is now aware about this sex. So when they are going to be having it, they need to have it properly, according to whatever teaching that they get, wherever they got it from. I want to, as much as the ego that we talk about as men, I'm the man, boom, 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 I hate it, I come. I heard you mentioning that when I was that side. Then you feel it's done because you are satisfied. She's not satisfied. She's going to find it elsewhere. If you're not careful, she will have to find it somewhere else.
So you're trying to say, no, let's talk about couples now where the fire is going down.
When now you think you're going to find it elsewhere, where some fire is better than this fire. Maybe there's a gas stove fire there.
Yeah.
And there's wood fire in your house. What do you think about her?
I see. Can we a little bit get back to that point in Tetengayo Baba? When you see someone that you love, you see them for the first time. People say love at first sight, blah, blah, blah. Kind of vibe. When you see
is
that...
Is there something like that, like love at first sight? No. Yeah, that's lust. That's lust. That's
no. Lust has got something to do with sex. But when you look at that person, you are very much attracted. They are like...
It's just, it's an attraction. Let's leave it there. Let's not elevate it to I love this person because love is different.
Yes, it's deep.
Love is
Love is
something
deep.
else.
True.
When you love
Yeah.
somebody, when last did somebody hold your shoulder and tell you, so I love you? I can bet you it's a very long time ago. It's not easy to get somebody who's going to tell you that. When? When? So somebody akubambe kanje. So I love you. Oh.
No, but still kule luthethayo wini iyenzeka into bangaba, especially thina as I don't even think I've ever told my brothers I love you, man. That doesn't sound, it's not in our everyday vocabulary language, that thing. But we know that, yeah, I got your back, I got you. But even though we don't even say it directly, that I love you. And there's an element of it that makes you vulnerable when you say it. You seem weak sometimes.
When you say it to a woman,
it doesn't matter who you say it to.
To say I love you.
Yeah, you are showing your vulnerability. You are opening yourself up.
These are the disadvantages of being a black man.
True. That's where I'm trying to
agree with me.
Yes, that's where I'm driving towards.
White parents tell their kids, "I love you."
Yeah, it's
go to school.
For us. It's like it's a weak form. Remember, Tina, as black people, we are embraced to show the strong side, the strong survival kind of aspects. This aspects of love and sharing how you feel. Have you ever told me, Wayne Enzo, the other day I asked you to come and join us with Maxine, and then when you said you were coming and you didn't come, and then you tell me how you felt about it, your feelings. What did it do to your feelings? You don't speak about feelings. Yeah, you'll be like, the black man will be like, this guy, he's like this one. That's all. But you're not tapping into how you feel about my actions. The feelings, you don't express feelings, Tina, black men. Largely black men.
It's high time we should get a white man on this podcast to tell us how they figure out. No, but so we're in poverty plays. I always fight with my mother. I always fight with my mother. Hey, your sister. Hey, now she's dating this broke ass nigga. Man, they're pregnant. I said, poverty plays a very big role. You feel vulnerable. You feel you're useless because of your upbringing. When you feel you're nothing, you've got nothing to present on the table. When 16, now you're 30 license. Gives that, the next thing, the father's friend's got this company. He goes there and do an attachment. Life is flowing. Boom, she's at UCT. When they're off campus, she's at the father's friend doing an attachment. She's now at already 17, 18. Some remuneration is coming towards her. She can buy these lip gloss, roll on, that. She doesn't need to look for a man to substitute for these facts. So it starts from there.
You're spitting facts now.
It starts from there. Where now you're just gonna settle for this other nigga just because of situations at home. So whether you're enjoying the sex or the fire is dying down and you feel I should tell them that the fire is now almost switching off, you can't. Because you don't have the equipment. You're not well equipped. You don't have, you're not at the right place to mention this.
Look, we are not. Unfortunately,
this mention this about black people's upbringing. It affects a lot of all our episodes where we sit down and say, this is a crisis. Let's discuss about it. It's constituted by the fact of how a black child is raised.
Yeah.
Then we find ourselves in probably slaying and marrying some old men.
Yeah. No, look, this, yeah, no. You're spitting facts, but in reparations, I think if we go towards the solutions to the problem that you've just raised of poverty, they may take us another 100 years as black men to redress yonke le nto ithethayo of changing the narrative. How can we now transform a livelihood yethu as black people in such a way that it can equip our kids to make better romantic decisions in the future? That is a very heavy burden we are carrying.
We might not need to wait for 100 years. So we might just need to decide tonight as abantu abanamhlanje, abantu abasha, how we want our kids to be tomorrow. Our own kids. Now, let's start with just the two of us.
No, well. Unfortunately, when it comes to romance and dating, is not encouraged. Abazi kukhona saying yithi umzali wakho uyazakuvalela endlini angafuni uhambe uyobona abafana kodwa still uzawubuza anichati. Usafuna nichati. Ucinga uzawuchata njani ekuvalela endlini ungafuni uba uhambe uyolanda udibana nabafana, kind of vibe. So these are two. I don't want us to derail so much. Okay, get off topic, Wayne. But it is important, because sifuna we are still raising indlu emnyama towards a consciousness around the setting yet. Our setting is the way it is right now. We cannot solve it, but romance is happening, and it's leaving us. It's creating more inequalities between us. Lendo lena not so long ago, besenza a biological clock. Go and watch that episode. On that biological clock, we know that we got that limited a time up until a time when your sex drive has dried up because of old age or because of your vessels giving up on such things, on such matters. The age is activated. Then that means by that time you already have your life partner, and then that you are moving towards. So even when we think about rewiring the fire, we know that this is not going to be a lifetime thing, that we are going to have sex up until we are 100. We may like inequalities around it. We've spoken on them on the biological clock episode. But right now, I want us to talk to finish up in the Wagama. How can we then? Yes, I had some of the things that you were saying, that go out on dates, introduce some variety, and then what else? Go to why people go
new
to therapy?
positions, toys or activities.
Toys.
Both feel comfortable exploring. Have sex in different room setting. To break the routine and add excitement. This is a bit of research that I have. But this tends to align more to
Western side. It's more.
I can imagine when you are in load shedding and you are busy trying to.
Yeah. Now let me come to that thing that I wanted to share with you.
Before
now this is the moment. Drum roll.
Okay.
All right. Here's the thing. A lot of people feel like when they have sex every day, that is healthy sex. Do you think, as a person, you should be having sex every day?
With who?
No, with your partner.
Oh. Okay. It depends at what level of the relationship is, because relationship. Every day.
Yeah, you could have it every day when.
So your question was,
but I'm talking about a already stable relationship, 3 years, around 3 years, and stuff.
No, so
okay.
Naturally, in relationship, there has to be sex almost every day. I'm telling you.
All right.
And the woman is
fine, Wayne. Here's what I wanted to say. The reason that sex was so good when you guys have started, it's because you had limited time for each other. Limited time for each other. Sometimes and bonani so often, and then it's becoming those fewer moments. The point that I'm trying to say, I want to say to get onto this statement that says a healthy person must have sex every day. No, it's a very big no. This is my biggest secret now that I'm spilling out.
So you're saying when I'm horny, I should avoid it because of
wait till you hear what I want to say, especially for a man biology. Remember, sex is energy, and then it's energy that gets built up on a certain region of your body. I think Indian people will call it, like they would say a human being has got 7 chakras and whatnot, but it seems like there's more chakras than those.
What are chakras?
But chakras are energy points that are in a human body. So you do want to, the reason I'm saying sex must not be done every day. You can do sex every day, but it's not going to be justified sex all of the time, where both of you are satisfied. In that 7 days of you having sex every day, there may be that first day may be the hottest one, where you have it. But the other 2 days, it may be days of just doing it because you are together. You have to satisfy each other one way or another. But especially for a man needs to build up energy and needs to build up a sperm bank. When you
what about a woman? A woman.
Wait, I'll come back to that one. I'll come back to that.
I don't want to miss anything of this.
Yeah, but what you need to know, but you'll watch this.
No, but I'm saying I don't want to let you flow with whatever that you are telling us, and I'm not understanding what you are saying initially.
100%. You are helping someone also.
Yeah.
So what you want to do as a man, you want to allow, stay, let's say, 4 days without having sex, even longer than that, without having sex, without desiring sex, without anything that's got something to do with sex. That way, you are building your sperm bank. When your sperm bank is full, that is the time where you get your hardest erection. But now the next point that comes after that is, how do you then, when your sperm bank is too full, it's very easy for about 4 years. You will become noodles. You'll become a 2-minute man. But I'll get to a point how you can avoid doing it 2 minutes with that hardest. Because when you do sex every day, yes, you will be hard that first time, but there will be some questionable hardnesses that happen in other days.
Mm-hmm. Very clear, man.
Is that clear enough? So here's the thing: this issue of having sex every day simply because sometimes you force. There was amajita back in the day. What kind of try faxing? No, ekimfethu dizamile. Sometimes I have vuka. Ike have vuka kumdizama or have sex. No, did you try to fax? There's faxing, you know. There's a fax machine most. A fax machine, or fax paper, 30 paper, will file a fax machine. The fax, so too many fax. When you fax, is utata i 4-5, we fag pagati, we phone, we call it faxing, we are fax. How faxile, because of fubushushu papagati, is a
walk.
Definitely,
you don't need wearing a condom in that instance.
Well, I don't want to discuss in nitty-gritties in detail, but I want to get to my point. But now, when you faxed, remember, you faxed and then you have vuka. Lamvuko is not, it does not come from all of your power, the power of your erection. It's circumstantial erection that you got, so that you do what you do and then you do that traction and whatnot. and then you pump. Sometimes you pump. Ujabu pampa nje iyekelele kwayona simply because there's no sperm. The sperm count to ejaculate is too small. As a result, this is information that I can get into too much detail about, but not because of time. I don't want to get too detailed. But I'm sure as a guy, most of the stuff that I'm trying to say now, I'm spilling out, So if you want to do justice as a man sexually to your partner, don't do sex every day. Build your sperm bank. Sometimes you do feel yourself when your sperm bank is too full. It's very easy for you to get an erection. And then it's uncontrollable, that erection. But you hardly get that when you've been having sex every day.
Yeah.
It's just that you have access to sex.
You should use this.
Now, another aspect that I want to dish out. Stop, if you want to rekindle the fire. My secret number 2 as a guy, stop watching porn. Porn. Yeah. Because the porn, sometimes, have you ever watched the porn? Ungafumani erection ngexesha ujongile uyabona naked kwenziwa yonke le ndabazana yenziwa. You don't get an erection. This is a sign that it's no longer taking effect to your. It's no longer connecting your mind and your biology anymore now. It's not exciting. It's like that. Sometimes when you've seen a certain porn, it doesn't excite you. You want to be excited by a new kind of porn that you've watched. The same kind of cycle that happens here. So when you don't watch porn, when you cut porn off, you're off it. It's the time when you the power that you have, that sexual energy that you have, is your sexual energy. It's not enhanced by anything. It's not trying to emulate anything. You're not trying to try and go to your partner now and have visions of something that had happened and see how much of failure that you have when in terms of sex, or how much of a failure your partner has in terms of sex. And then it's naturally a connection between the two of you that is unique and original between the two of you. Because remember, Jongi celebrities, when a person looks at or Denzel Washington, what all of those people are augmented by the big screens. They have makeup, they have everything, they've got all of that. If you're trying to this is more like trying to find a partner that looks like a celebrity. You're not going to find even the celebrities themselves, they look scruffy like us in their normal circumstances. So the life of television is so augmented and so superficial and so so glamorized so much. Same applies with sex porn. Remember, there are too many people there shooting that thing, trying to make it perfect for you. When you are watching that thing, and then that thing plays around with your expectations. When you come into the bedroom, into your life reality, your personal reality, now you have visions of that thing. That thing is not going to it's just messing up with your mind. So rather stay original with yourself and build up your sex drive. You asked a question about what about women when it comes to them building up? Also there, remember, sex is a bit sore on them and whatnot. You're also allowing their genitalia to sort of compose itself, and then you'll tend to enjoy more when it's composed. It's becoming because she does not want to disappoint you. Or you are horny, then
sorry, what was my question for you to respond to this?
To respond to this, you're asking, okay, I was saying a man must not have sex every day. They must build up his sperm bank. Then you said, what about women? What do they have to build? They have to also remember elasticity that happens with the organ. So you allow that elasticity to also be less so and to compose itself. and then you'll enjoy it more. Remember, now you'll be better horny than any other day, simply because of your sexual energy has been built up. All right.
Okay, so
I'll speak about this, and then maybe we if people want to ask deeper things about this, or they want to speak more about this, they can ask me. Remember, try this, Machita, and then come back to me. Then that way, when you won't rely so much when your spend bank is full. You won't rely on all of these superficial things.
We're running out of time.
Yeah, superficial things of going on a date, doing this, make more foreplay, all of this stuff.
We're running out of time,
All
so
right.
we need to
Yeah,
wrap up.
Yeah,
But
let's see that.
make sure the last part of this explanation that you on the trailer. Please, may I have that on the trailer?
I will.
I think it will give a good catch.
A good pun.
Punch, whatever.
Okay.
Catch.
Yeah, we'll speak. Yeah, we'll speak about this off camera. But
Then,
yeah, let's sum it up. Sum it up then.
What else did I want to say? Okay, yeah. From whatever this that I'm saying, I'm happy about, and let's have it on the trailer. I beg to differ though with certain factors that you mentioned. Why?
Okay.
Because when you seem to be advocating for youth and why? Because at 19, 20, 21, 22, you don't need all these things that you're talking about. Level 5, you have anytime, and it's hard. The only thing is that you don't really have the art.
Let me interject.
Yeah.
There's a difference between love making and having sex. So those young boys, they're just having sex for the sake of ejaculating. That's it. For the sake of the feeling of ejaculation. That's it. They don't take it to an extent of
now, then you answer
of energy sharing.
Okay. Then you answer me. No, then we're good. Because then we're good. In that case, then we're good. Because at 17, 18, at 19, 20, 21.
Yeah. And also you also mentioned this about these young girls that would say they are just enjoy the fact that I've done it. When the time when they actually make love and really understand the sharing of energies when it comes to sex is the time they will stop messing around with anyone. They will only do it with the people that know that you know what, I made love there. I saw like I was transformed with that sex that I had with so and so, as opposed to we just had kind of vibe.
Very true. So Namhlanje, it was rekindling the fire.
Rekindling the fire.
I think Mzo did mention it at the beginning of the episode that we're talking about how, as a married couple or as whatever Fatima said that you could be doing, how do we now have a setup where the fire is always as it was from day one? So sex tends to depreciate as we sex depreciate. So Namhlanje, we're trying to discuss about that. How can we strongly rekindle that fire and have it like as it was from day one? And do you want to add on to that? Because we thought
let me just
don't have time.
let me just in a few seconds mention the generic stuff. Some people, they say, yes, I heard no way they mention try to do different things. That go to a high, go out on a date, surprise each other, go to see a therapist, which is, we know that this one, seeing a therapist for things of intimacy that you can't even speak so much with your partner. Your best therapist there is your partner when it comes to this kind of thing, not a third party. That's my just 2 cents on that one. So all of these things, they may push you into the right direction, but the most important thing is the connection between you and your partner. When that openness and not be too serious about this, talk it in a way that is very casual. You can even laugh when omnye mhlambi nitheni yenza loo nto leyo waphansi uwa ebhedini ihleke loo nto leyo bemnandi.
So I don't want this to be too long, because I don't want people to.
Because
when we started, we probably started with something else different from what we're doing, and it gets so heated when we get to the end. And I want people now to get to a point where they start saying, man, it's getting boring. We want
Okay.
And it
All
ends
right.
at a certain point.
Okay. No, that's cool.
So we have pushed this episode to extreme levels. But I think this is where we're gonna end.
Let's end
rekindling
here.
the fire. We're
Yeah.
gonna end it namhlanje. I wanted to mention something, but I think I'm forgetting it. But well, maybe I might have just to put it in the comments. But there's something that I wanted to mention. Rekindling the fire will end. Lapha ke namhlanje is DJ Wicked Nomzo Sebulela.
Peace.